What is this garbage? What? That is bizarre. I've never seen this pawn push up like that. I'm confused. My poor little pickle brain is floating around in here being like, help me. Hello, it's me, your friendly neighborhood 1000 ELO player. Let's see if it stays that way or if I dip back into the 900s today. Praise God for another beautiful day to play some chess. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out here. We got black. We are officially in the 1000 ELO division, the department, the club. Okay, I've made it. Will we maintain it? Who knows? Probably not. If I'm being completely honest with myself, there's a very good chance we'll dip back into the 900s. I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping that we'll be able to maintain and have some fun and just, you know, keep on keeping on. And what is this garbage? I have 3 defenders and he only has 2. So if I take this, what? That's really weird. Why did he do that? That's so strange. He just gave me that. If I do this, like if he does this, I take, he takes, that doesn't work. We just leave this now? What the heck? I can do this. If he does this, I just move over. I'm gonna go here. If he does this, I can take. If he does this, actually, I can take here. I can just do this. And if he goes here, wait, yeah, I just do this. I'm threatening this bishop. And if he takes here, I take, he takes, I'll take. Even if he does this, I can put the knight in front. And then if he does this, wait. Wait a second, this guy's confusing me now. If I go here, I think that's good because if he tries to set something else up, like even this, well then this takes. If I do this and he does this, I simply take, then if he takes, I take. If he puts me into check, I could actually counter. If he does this, I take, he takes. I think this just this is what makes sense to do. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. I think that makes sense. We're gonna end up, I don't think behind, but we still have pieces in the center of the board then. That is bizarre. I've never seen this pawn push up like that in this Scotch game. This is the Scotch game Haxo Serrat variation. No idea. I'm confused. Everything in my brain hurts. My poor little pickle brain is floating around in here being like, help me. I don't know what's happening. Okay, well, you know, it's never a dull moment when you're playing chess. Never a dull moment. It's always exciting and interesting and fun. We've at least stopped this pawn from advancing, and we do know that, you know, if something happens here, then we're still gonna be okay. He wants to initiate this attack, but I think we've been able to find a somewhat logical way to stop this advancement, at least for a minute, at least for a second. Obviously, we can't take the knight with the queen. This bishop is there. Okay, so this is very interesting now because I can do this. And he still can't bring his queen out. And then I can push this up, and that becomes a checkmate possibility. He just moves backwards. I could also do this if he takes, I don't know. We control a lot of the center of the board. We could obviously do this. This pawn is then hanging. We can do this. If I do, okay, I'm really liking this because if he takes, now I can do like this. I like this. I like this a lot. I'm gonna put the queen here. He might castle. There's a chance, there's a possibility, but we're getting pieces more into the middle of the board. We have the ability to kind of respond to a few of the different things that he does. If he does castle, we don't have to push this pawn up. Then we could do something like throw the knight here. That lets us castle kingside. We'll double check the tempo of stuff when we castle because that can be very important. That can cause some issues, as has happened to me in the past. But overall, I think we're doing okay. We've got more pieces in the middle of the board. That's always a good sign. All right, if he takes, not great. If I push up, well, now this just seems right because if I push, if I push up and he castles, I'm gonna push up and he's gonna castle, right? I don't think I have to think too long about this because we don't want him to have this. And if I push up, the only thing he can do is this. He's not gonna take. He almost certainly castles. Yeah, we don't even have to think. I don't have to think about that much longer. Then we'll just push that pawn up. It's protected by the knight. He's gonna castle, and now we can do something like, I mean, we almost need to kick this knight now. That almost seems appropriate. Like if he goes up here after castling, we don't love it. This, we should almost push this D pawn up, then the H pawn, so that we can pin the knight and do a bit of a tradesy with my knight, my light bishop. That seems pretty good. That seems kind of okay. I really don't know. This is just such a bizarre. We also need to castle too. Like there's issues with not castling right now also. I don't think a queenside castle makes sense just yet. However, if we open up the D and then we do something like, okay, yeah. So if he takes here, I don't want to do that just yet. I don't have to do that just yet. So now if I move my D pawn up, this becomes very spicy because if he attacks, I attack, he attacks, I attack, he puts into check, and then if he takes, I am able to take. So D pawn I think makes a lot of sense. If he takes, I just get the knight. We're still in the middle of the board, and then we could look at, you know, developing the knight, castling kingside, bring the rook out. Rook can take the pawn if he doesn't castle. He is going to castle here most likely, but I like this. We're just continuing to push things to the middle of the board. We're continuing to center stuff. We could even threaten his light bishop. His light bishop could move over here to put me into check. However, we will just counterattack. There's no problem with that whatsoever right now. Here, queen is still on that diagonal, so we don't want to initiate any sort of trade. Okay, yeah. So we're just gonna take, actually I should almost, because these pawns are double, we should just take that with this pawn, right? This pawn becomes hanging. Wait, is this just checkmate now? Did he just blunder? We're not dipping below 1,000 today, boys. I had a blunder. What's my blunder? Wait a minute. I blundered something as well. Okay, blunder for blunder, but we did not dip below 1,000. We're at 1,013. Okay, let me see. What was my blunder? Wait a minute. I didn't see anything that scared me. The game is over before I could do the verse of the day. So before we do the game review, let's do the verse of the day. Romans chapter 8, verse 6 says, "The mind governed by the flesh is death, but the mind governed by the spirit is life and peace." I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Ever since I've started including the verses of the day, ever since I've been spending every single day in prayer, reading God's word, I have known peace in my life that didn't exist before. My house is more peaceful. My children are more peaceful. My wife and I are more peaceful. Everything is more peaceful. So this verse, it rings true in my life. Hopefully it brings you some encouragement to try it out in your life. And with that out of the way, appreciate you for watching this game. Let's jump into the game review. This guy played at 37% accuracy. I played at 62% accuracy. The blunder it wasn't tragically bad. I was slightly winning and it tipped into slightly favored for white. So let's take a look at this review. Okay. Book moves. We knew that all of this was book. We took that pawn, which was good. We could have taken with the knight, but then I was worried. I guess taking with the knight makes a lot of sense because we attack here, and if he takes, we can take, and then if he does take, we take. So I should not have taken with the pawn. That was big dumb, big oopsie poopsie fart brain for just a second there, but still good. Taking with the pawn is not bad. Book move here. This was a mistake. Playing the same piece slows the progress in the opening. So instead of this targeting the bishop, I should have done this defending. I don't like that as much. I understand why it wants me to do it because the sequence or the result is the same if this attack happens, but you also just have your knight on the edge of the board, whereas this is targeting the bishop. Like if he got scared and he moves back, or even up here as he did, like this was just bad. So he should have initiated this. And then if he initiates, so from here, if he initiates, oh, I put him into check, and then he does this, and then I'm supposed to take. But there's no way, what? Then if he does this, I get to do this. Oh, that's really interesting. Okay, that's actually super cool. So when he moves, when I do this and he moves back, that's a mistake. He should initiate that trade. The idea was, obviously from my perspective, I was going to do this. He does this, I do this. I was kind of a little bit worried about something like this, or something like that does make sense. Here, he can put me back into check. Ooh, yeah, this is actually like big scary. Okay, I'm actually kind of glad that this didn't happen. And it's also crazy to see that if this happens and he takes, we win the queen back with a promotion. Which would just be insane. Like, he is supposed to stop this. I take the queen, he takes here, and now we're looking at like some crazy stuff. Yeah, king takes. Wow. Okay, that's a crazy sequence that I need to like study and put in the back of my pocket, because that was wild. Now, after this, and after he moves back, this next move of mine was a blunder. This is a blunder. You permitted the opponent to win a rook by eventually trapping a piece. What? He should have done this. That's crazy. And then, yeah, you obviously don't want to lose it. So this happens. And then he does this. And he's able to... Wait, and then I'm supposed to move over. And then he's supposed to castle? That's a crazy sequence. That's brilliant. You ignore the threat on the knight, a difficult move to see, because then if you take the knight, he can do this. What? No, that doesn't make any sense. What? This loses the queen? Oh, because you end up doing this? Wait, what? I'm super confused. What is the follow-up to lose the rook? If this is brilliant... Huh? I don't lose my rook at all. What are you talking about, chess.com? What are you talking about? You're bizarre. It literally was like, we're gonna win a rook. This. Oh, so if he took with the bishop, that's where he wins the... Okay, guys, listen. Every once in a while, brain does silly things. This is definitely a very difficult... Like, here, I understand why this is good and why that's what he should have done. I also understand why he missed it, because I don't know that I would have seen that when you're preparing to castle. And in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, don't wreck the pawn structure on the side you're gonna castle. Now, after this, I should have taken here, actually. I just liked that it was still protected, and I liked that we opened this up. It was actually pretty clutch to move this pawn here, because that is what secured us the victory royale. And when he blunders here, we just get the checkmate. So you know what? A less than 10 move game, but actually some very valuable things to have a look at, especially this opening here, which just absolutely blew my mind with this central pawn attack. And the fact that I had developed my knight and my bishop made it not as scary, but some stuff like this, like, yeah, if this happens, move this to the edge, the result ends up being the exact same. And it also opens this rook up for castling. Like, this just makes a lot of sense. So I get it, I understand. I'm happy that even though I made some mistakes, we ended up not dipping below 1000 elo. A blunder here, a blunder there, not seeing some moves. At the end of the day, we didn't dip below 1000. I'm very happy, very grateful, super excited to see what tomorrow brings. I'll see you there. Hope God blesses you in the rest of your day. Peace.